All right. Hi. Welcome, everybody. I spontaneously came up for this live stream today because I just met with a colleague today, and she came because she was upset. Just had a one of her grant funding. It was rejected and was not funded, and so we spent some time talking about overcoming major setback. So today I want to talk specifically about this, where in academia, rejection seems to be like the theme. You know, you get rejected for papers, you get rejected for research grants. So how do we come out of that? Are we going to sit there and cry? What should we do? So first of all, just understand that um, publications and grants, this is a very common occurrence because only 5 to 10% of papers get grants get funded. So this is something we are going to, as a researcher, you're going to be experiencing that all the time. And when that happens, the automatic response when we get these results or rejection is to go into the logic. Okay, why did this happen? How did this happen? Then we go into this rumination. We read through the summary statement and go through every single line. Why did they say this? Why did they say that? Why did reviewer make such harsh comment? And and then after that you go into this survivor mode. Okay, I need to work harder and submit this within the next month. But we forget that when you don't process the emotion properly, you just go into survivor mode. You are not going to be able to create something properly. As a researcher, our job is essentially a creative endeavor. Because if you think about a research project, you have to come up with ideas that are juicy, that are exciting, that can change people's life. But if you start thinking about ideas in such a lack of survivor mode, the ideas aren't going to be good. It's just going to be it's going to come out of desperation. So it's really important that we pause and think and process the whole emotion first before we jump into the work. So, so this is what we kind of talked about. Sometimes the first thing is to just understand what has been going on. So I asked her, so what have you done since then? So all she was telling me was that she canceled some of her plans, some of her vacation plan. She went straight to opening her manuscript for the past 2 weeks, trying to revise the grant, right? But the thing is, then I asked her, did you process your emotion? How did you feel about it? She said, oh, I did not do anything about it because I did not want to waste time. So that's the first thing. Second thing I asked, okay, did you take any time off? Did you celebrate that you actually submitted? No, she did not do that. And that makes this whole downward spiral. And how I know it was not good for her is because I know her very well. Every time she wrote a grant or write a paper, she has so much joy. She used to tell me she loves um, writing grants because you can almost see the joy because you're creating, you're coming up with ideas, you're trying to fix something. So it was she loved it so much. And this time she's like, oh, I actually lost the joy in writing. You know, for the past 2 weeks, I tried to write a grant. Every day I'm just staring at the blank page. And sometimes I want to watch a YouTube video and then I feel guilty because I feel like I need to rush to get this a grant in. And so and when she came to me, I just lost the joy in writing. I lost the joy in the grant. So I could see that in her. So that is the thing when we don't process the emotion and just straight get into the logical side, we can get into this issue and can end up getting burnt out and may stop loving science because we go into research because we love science, we love to create things, and if we don't do that, that's going to happen. So let me share how like what I do when I have a major setback. So research grants is one of them. Sometimes I get rejected for a paper just because I am a researcher. Somewhat established over the past 5 years does not mean that this does not happen. Just that I process my emotion. So I'm going to share some of the things that are helpful for me, and so that hopefully this can help you as well. So the first thing is to get out of survivor mode, right? The first thing is, are you in a stage, let's say it's a rejection for the grant. Do you have a secure job or does it mean that you're going to be kicked out of the program, right? If you have, if you're not no longer secure, then there's nothing I say after this process emotion. It doesn't matter anymore because now you are in a survivor mode. So if you are not in a survivor mode, that means your division chief said or your department head says, no, actually, we have time. We have 2 more years. You still have protected time. Pause. That means we can take our time, right? Don't rush. But if you are in a situation where, okay, no, if you don't get this grant funding, that's it. They're going to kick you out. At this moment, let's figure out what can we do to secure our livelihood first. Because if you remember the hierarchy, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, first you need your food and job and money, and a roof under your over your head. So we need to fix that first before we talk about enlightenment and process emotion. At that time, we don't want to. We can't even think about that. So get out of survivor mode. How do we do that? Maybe talk to the department chair first. Understand. Okay, maybe I need more time. Maybe I can do more. I'm a physician researcher, so usually our backup plan is to do more clinical work. So at least let's get some secure money and job over our roof first. Maybe you speak to your spouse, family, just try to do something to make sure you have security, right? Get out of the survivor mode first. All right. Once the survivor mode is out, that means I'm secure. I actually won't die. I have money. I have 6 months to a year. We are still good. Now let's talk about really processing it and then feeling better about yourself. So after survivor mode is to process the emotion. A lot of us do not like to process emotion just because we are researchers. We're like, everything has to be logic, everything has to be evidence based. Really, emotion is really important. If we do not process the emotion, it gets stuck in there, and eventually it will bubble up and surface, and it will affect our productivity. So how do we process? Number one, if you need to cry it out. If you're angry, maybe scream at the pillow and scream it out. For me, I also do breath work. So how do I do that? First is take a deep breath, and as I take the deep breath, I kind of think about and feel all the anger emotion, okay, and hold it up in the head and hold it for 4 seconds. And then as I do that, I breathe it out. And when I breathe out all the anger and the bad emotions out, and then I hold. I typically do 4 or 5 times just to feel the emotion and process it. And another thing, because I do martial arts, what I do is I actually go like punch and kick. And so really, really get the energy out. So that's for processing. Sometimes you may need a day or 2 days or 3 days. Just you do need to process it out. So then number two, once you've processed the emotion, is number two is to regain your self-worth. So the common thing with self-worth is that in society, especially in academia too, is that our worth is based on what the outside, the external validation. Oh, we got a paper publication, or oh, we got a promotion. Our value seems to be from outside external things, but in reality, our all of our value comes from internally, being just our beingness. Like Gia's value is because I'm Gia. All the work that I've done for the past few years, all the effort and the time and the love and that I put into the research project, just by doing that, that's the value I bring. Getting the grant, that's being recognized for the value that's external. But it's all this effort and little love that I put into the project. That is my value. So now when you do not have the external, suddenly everything crumbles and you may start feeling like a failure. Um, Now when I said, okay, how do we rebuild our value then? Is to start doing some tangible things. So small things like self care and grooming is really important because when you start grooming yourself, you're starting to plant seeds and also to give evidence that hey, I'm valuable enough to spend time on this. So it's even taking time for massages, taking time to buy the things we want. So basically you keep saying yes to yourself multiple times. That is how you create your value. And also certain affirmations that are really important is I'm valuable for being me, not for doing, right? I'm valuable for being me, not by all the accolades. Okay, so remember that the what we bring to this world is not just based on the research grant or also the publication. Now, the next thing to do about building self value is also to take time for rest. Because when you rest your emotion, you are able to be able to think more logically and able to um, feel your body better. So really take a time to rest and sleep. Don't go into this mode where I need to spend time writing or I need to spend time working on the next grant. And then finally is to take time to play. Why is that really important? When I talk about play, it's not just uh, it can be anything, anything that comes with enjoyment, anything that comes with fulfillment, anything that is considered play for yourself counts. Why is play so important? Is because when writing a grant or even thinking about a research project, it's all about creativity, and creativity comes from the energy and the life force and the enjoyment we have. What if we do not play? It all comes from lack or desperation. It's really difficult. We go into this logic mode, and the thing about any creative work is that the desperation leaks out in the paper. The desperation leaks out when you're writing. Some subconscious level, the way you write your sentences, the way you persuade people, you just people can sense the desperation. So it's really important to start putting play into your day-to-day routine. So to recap, after having a major setback from let's say a rejection, especially a big grant, is that number one, take time to process emotion, number one. And number two, add self value. Okay. So uh, change, reframe what you think about your self worth. Okay. And then create some self worth, giving some evidence of self worth by investing in yourself, whether you spend money on self, you spend time on yourself, you spend energy on self. Okay. Anything you do just to on yourself, that will create some true self worth. And then finally, it is about creating play and add play. If you do need time, if you can't get to the February deadline, so be it. Who says you have to submit it then, right? Or some people get worried that, oh, I'm at the timeline that is later than others. So what? Who says you need to achieve that grant um, by this year, right? It doesn't matter. So especially when you already have protected time, or especially when you have some security in your job. So you, who says you have to do that, right? Take your time, do self care, and love yourself. And once your energy and your cup is filled, then automatically, trust me, automatically the creativity will come, you will have energy, and then you can start writing again. All right. So I hope this is going to be helpful. From now on, I'm just going to spontaneously come do live stream whenever some important thing happens, and hopefully you can learn and learn from all these experiences. All right. Take care. Bye.